Well, Dennis, I was never trained as an economist academically. I learned physics when I was in the university, and I learned my economics as a manager and then as a policymaker. And I've been observing the need for economics to make a fundamental shift, as you have been explaining to us. And I want to continue to use the paradigm of physics, the science of physics, and the paradigm shifts it has gone through to explain why the three disciplines that you have mentioned that I insist are very important are required now. Now, physics underwent a paradigm shift 100 years ago when Einstein, Max Planck, Werner Heisenberg, Niels Bohr, and others revealed the limits of knowledge. Well, Dennis, I was never trained as an economist academically. I learned physics when I was in the university, and I learned my economics as a manager and then as a policymaker. And I've been observing the need for economics to make a fundamental shift, as you have been explaining to us. And I want to continue to use the paradigm of physics, the science of physics, and the paradigm shifts it has gone through to explain why the three disciplines that you have mentioned that I insist are very important are required now. Now, physics underwent a paradigm shift 100 years ago when Einstein, Max Planck, Werner Heisenberg, Niels Bohr, and others revealed the limits of knowledge. Humans are creatures within a vast universe, and they are not objective observers outside a system that has created them. And these path breakers showed that our knowledge of reality will always depend on our personal perspectives, that knowledge is relative. Let's say it's always subjective. And they showed that it's impossible to measure anything too accurately because our attempts to measure anything will change it. Now, you can see how what you have been saying about the need for shifts in economics, these great physicists realized this 100 years ago. And they began to understand that you cannot understand how the world works merely by understanding the compositions of its particles. Like you said about individual human beings, if we understand how they think and rationalize, we can understand how the world works. It's not true. And they said we must also understand the forces that move the particles and connect their behaviors. It's like social interactions. And physicists are today struggling to find a theory that unifies all the forces, including gravity, and to fit forces into their worldview of particles. And physicists have realized that the world is not a machine, it is a living thing. It evolves. And evolutionary biology is the study of how systems learn to acquire new capabilities. In fact, life is a process of learning. And when learning stops, life ends. Now, I was trained as a physicist originally, but I have been studying the emerging sciences of evolutionary biology and organizational learning for the past 30 years and applying their insights in management and in public policy. And I believe that technologists, managers, and policymakers must learn the three disciplines that you mentioned to make the world better for everyone. The first is ethical reasoning. All religions and spiritual disciplines say that selfishness is bad and that we must care for others because society and nature nourish us. We empirically observe that human beings do care for others. The science of economics, on the other hand, as you said, has been founded so far on the premise that human beings are purely rational and self-interested. And the business corporation is designed as an institution whose legal duty it is to serve only itself, its own shareholders. Therefore, the modern capitalist business institution is by design selfish and unethical, and this must change. Now, the second discipline is systems thinking. Science has advanced with the European Enlightenment in silos. Knowledge has been broken up into many separate disciplines, and we have experts who know more and more about less and less. And none knows how the whole works. And therefore, we need a new enlightenment with the science of the whole, the systems thinking, and not mere sciences of the parts. Systems thinking, the evolutionary sciences, and an understanding of how systems learn have become essential to avoid the environmental and societal crises we are facing in this 21st century. Then the third discipline is a very simple one. It is deep listening to people who are not like us. If we do not listen to people who have other perspectives, how can we understand reality completely? And if we do not listen to people who appear to be not like us, how can we understand them and have any compassion for them? The world, to my mind, is suffering from a deluge of too much speaking and showing off on social media. It is suffering from a drought of deep listening to others. And we are being programmed by algorithms to listen to people we like. And we have no time or desire even now to listen to those who seem different. Good listening is a very simple action which can have profound effects on the health of societies. And just as good breathing, which is a very simple action, can have dramatic effects on the toning up of very complex systems like our bodies and our minds too, I think we must recover the gentle art of listening patiently and deeply to others. And just as we have declared a United Nations International Day of Yoga, we must have a United Nations International Day for listening to people not like ourselves. Deep listening by all citizens to each other will promote real harmony and enable all to work together to make the world better for everyone and save our planet, which, as you pointed out, is being overly exploited by competition between ourselves. And in that mode, we are destroying the very earth on which we must all depend for our sustenance and our future.
Crystal gaze into the near future with our series Be Inspired that takes you into the world of AI, medicine, space, good governance, economy, and so much more. Subscribe to our channel now.